Hi guys, welcome back. So today I'm gonna go over my step-by-step makeup application, which I'm wearing right now. We're gonna go over moisturizing, priming, concealing, foundation, contouring, blush, highlight. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I do. So if you want to see how I get my face to look like this, then keep watching. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, follow my other social media, and watch my previous videos. Let's get to this. For a clean canvas, you have to clean your face and moisturize it. I'm going to use the Garnier Moisture Rescue Refreshing Gel right now because it is nighttime. It's 8:15 right now, but during the day I do like to use something with an SPF in it. So let's start moisturizing. And we're gonna wait about 5 minutes to let the moisturizer seep into the skin. The next step is optional, and that is to prime our face. Here I have two different types of primer. This one is the Smashbox Photo Finish and it's oil free, and this one is the Professional by Benefit, and this one is a pore minimizer. I do have pores right here. Well, we all have pores, but mine's that bother me and annoy me, so I like to use the pore fillers because I want to make this little area nice and smooth. So I'm gonna go with the Professional for tonight. And you really don't need a lot of primer. I just use enough to fill in the pores because, like I said, this is a pore minimizing primer. And I just push it in a little bit into the pores until it looks nice and smooth. Whatever I have left on my finger, I'll just bring it in between my brows. And that's pretty much it for primer. I don't really go crazy with primer because one, I don't feel I need it, and two, I don't really want to end up clogging my pores with a lot of product on my face. So now that our face is moisturized and primed, it's time for foundation. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. I really like this foundation, matte and poreless. You know, I am trying to cover my pores, and I do like my foundation pretty matte. So I'm just going to pour a little bit on the back of my hand. Again, not a lot. I just use a little bit. I don't really like wearing heavy foundation, so I do try and stay very light with it. So I'm gonna start dotting this onto my face. It's usually these same spots, and now over here I'm having a little bit of an issue with breaking out, so I want to cover that for tonight. And that's pretty much it. Once I apply it, I love using the beauty blender, so I'm just gonna start blending this in. You can also use a brush, obviously. I just prefer the beauty blender. I just pounce this on my face and just push it in as I'm pouncing. I'm pushing it into my face and kind of going into a circular motion out into the hairline. I do try and stay away from my under eye area with the foundation because, again, I don't like wearing a lot of layers, even though it ends up being a lot of layers that you are applying to your face. So that's why I try and keep it minimal, because I'm gonna use 2 concealers under my eyes, so I don't want to have foundation and 2 concealers and then a setting powder. So that, to me, it'll probably end up looking cakey or just not good. So I do try and stay away from my under eye area when it comes down to the foundation. You can bring this out to your ear if you're going to be pulling your hair back, and obviously down your neck, because we want to make sure we don't look like we're wearing a mask. So now it's time for the concealer. Like I said, I like to use two concealers. The first one I like to use is this one, which is the NYX Dark Circle Concealer, and this one is in medium. I like to use this one first to cover my dark circles, and then for a nice highlight, I like to use this one by Sephora, and this one is in Custard, which is a brightening concealer. To cover my dark circles, I like to start in this little corner in here because it does get pretty dark in there, and then just bring it down a little bit. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And I'm just following the socket there where it gets dark on me. I'm not bringing it any further down, and I'm not going too close to my lower lash line either. So I like to use a brush for this application because of where the concealer is in this little tub. And the brush I'm using is just an e.l.f. blending brush. But now I'm going to use the Beauty Blender to blend that into my skin. And as you can see, the dark circles are almost disappearing. This concealer does have that peachy undertone, which is pretty good for covering dark circles, especially on my skin tone. Okay, so now that that's somewhat covered, I'm gonna use the Sephora in Custard concealer, and I'm just gonna dot it on that same right socket that you see right there. Just gonna dot it right there, and I'm gonna try and keep that concealer in there too, because what I'm trying to bring out is that section just to match the rest of my face. Sometimes I do that upside down triangle that you see everybody do, but that's when I'm being really extra that I'll do that. Other than that, I'll just try and keep it here and blend it out as I can, as much as I can, I mean, without looking like a raccoon. And whatever is left on the sponge, I like to dab it on my chin and a little bit on my forehead. So now I quickly want to set my under eye area. I can use either the RCMA translucent powder or the colorless powder, or you can use something like the Airspun loose powder, also in translucent. There's so many setting powders out there. You go for whatever you like the most. Tonight I'm gonna use the translucent powder by RCMA. I'm gonna keep using the Beauty Blender for this. The Beauty Blender is like my favorite tool of all time. So anyways, I'm just going to apply this right under my eye area and blend it out. At this time, if you want to set your chin and your forehead, you can do so as well. Now to contour my face, I'm going to be using the Lorac Pro Contour Palette, but you can also use something like this Wet n Wild Contouring Palette. It's a really good palette and affordable at that. But I'm going to be using the Lorac for tonight. And the shade I'm going to use to contour is the light shade, which is this one right here. I like to use a brush that's shaped like this to contour. This one just so happens to come with the Lorac Pro Contour Palette. So I'll just dip my brush like that and just pick up very little product. And I also like to dab it in the back of my hand first, and then I'll just go right into that indentation you have under your right under your cheekbone. You can feel for it. You can, I don't know, stuff your lips in, whatever you can do just to feel this little section right here. I like to gauge myself by the top of my ear and the corner of my mouth, which is right there. So that's where I would put this product. So I just dab it on, and then I'll just brush upward to blend it out. And I like to bring it to the corner of my eye that far. I don't like to bring it all the way down here. So I'll just stop like right there. You see where the corner of my eye is? That's usually where I personally stop. And I'll just keep blending upward and up and down. And I like to start light because I don't like seeing a harsh line on my face either. If you like a harder line, then obviously you're gonna apply more product. I personally don't like that harsh line, so I keep it really light. All right, let's do the other side. Same thing, I'll dab it in, dab it on my hand first, and then look for that spot right there, the corner of my ear, the top corner of my ear, onto the corner of my eye, back and forth and up. Okay, so if you also want to do a nose contour, you can use the same contour you just used for your cheekbones. And I like to do it on this side right here, really high up, and bring it all the way to the corner of my brow. And then the tip of the nose. Very lightly. Can you see the line? And then the same thing on the other side without picking up any more product, because we still have product on this brush, believe it or not. And I just like to blend it out because I want a contour, but I don't want it to be like, ooh, she has two stripes going down her nose like a landing strip, you know? If you want to round off your nose, you can apply it on the end. I don't. I want to make my nose a little bit longer because my nose already is round at the tip. I don't want to make it any more rounder than it already is. So I just don't cut it off. I just go down and that's it. Okay, so now it's time to bronze our face. Tonight I'm going to use the Mineral Glow Bronzing Powder by Pure. But you can also use the NYC bronzing powder in Sunny or the NYX matte bronzer. They're all really good bronzers. Like I said, today I'm gonna use the Pure one. And what do I like to use? I like to have a fluffy brush for this. I'll dab it into my bronzing powder, tap off the excess. Then I like to start at the top of my forehead. And I'll just blend it out, come down through my hairline, come in through my cheekbone, back out to the hairline and the ear, and into the jawline. So in essence, I'm creating the number 3. And I don't like to look like I'm wearing a helmet on my face, so I do try and keep this very light as well. Just enough that I feel that I look bronzed, but not to the point that you can see the number 3 on my face, you know what I'm saying? So just blend it out very well. Start out lightly, never heavy, and it's just easier to blend out if you start light. And like I said, you don't end up looking like you were wearing a helmet, a bronzing helmet. I also like to put some bronzer on the side of my nose just to blend that out a little bit more. Not a lot, is whatever I have left on the brush. I'll just brush it on the sides like this. And that's pretty much it for the bronzer. For blush, I'm going to be using MAC in the shade Cubic. And I like to use a dual fiber brush for this. So I like to place my brush on the back top of my cheekbone and I bring it up towards my hairline, and sometimes I kind of curve it up. It depends what kind of mood I'm in, but I don't like to put it on the apples of my cheek, if that makes any sense. Some people love to put the blush on the apples of their cheeks. It looks really good on them. On me personally, I don't like the way it looks when I apply it right here. So I like to go back here and just dab it on all the way back to my hairline. So whatever looks best on you, that's where you're gonna apply your blush. And the reason I like using this dual fiber brush is because it blends it out really well. All right, let's do the other side. Again, I just do the top of the corner of my cheekbone, bring it all the way back to my hairline. And just stay above that contour that you just did, because we're gonna go in with the highlights, and the highlight is gonna be right on the cheekbone, right here. So you're gonna try and stay in between both of them. So for my highlight today, I'm gonna be using Anastasia's Illuminator in So Hollywood. I love this illuminator, like I love it. But I also love my Mary Luminizer. This is an amazing highlight, as well as most of the Becca highlights. I love the way they look on me. This one I'm holding here is Champagne Pop. So let's go with So Hollywood. The brush I'm going to be using tonight is a Luxie 512 small contouring brush, which is this one. It looks like this. But you can also use a fan brush, which blends out your highlight very nicely and perfectly. But I'm going to be using this brush for tonight. Dab it a little bit there. Then again, I always like to dab it on the back of my hand first, and then I go onto the cheekbone. And I like to apply it in circular motions, very, very softly. Really high on my cheekbone, and I bring it back to my hairline and wrap it around, sometimes a little bit onto the temple area. As long as you can see it, everybody else can see it. If you want to be extra, you can apply it around your brow, the corner of your brow right here. You can apply it on the tip of your nose, on the bridge of your nose, on your cupid's bow. I'll do my cupid's bow. I don't really like to do the tip of my nose because, like I said already, I have a round tip on my nose, and I do not like to make that like the first thing people see. So I keep it off of the tip of my nose. Sometimes I will do the bridge of my nose. It depends in what mood I'm in, or if I know I'm not gonna get super oily, because if I'm gonna get super oily throughout the day, there's no way I'm gonna add more shine to my face. So let's do the other side. Again, is the top of your cheekbone. I like to do it really softly, circular motions. Bring it to the back of the hairline and wrap a little bit onto the temples. Sometimes if I feel that it looks too harsh or like a line, I'll go back with the brush I use for the blush, the dual fiber brush, and I'll just blend those edges out so it looks nice and smooth and not this harsh line on top of my cheekbone, because I do like to look snatched, but a little bit on the natural side. And this is the end of this makeup tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. So we went over moisturizing. It's very important to moisturize. You have to moisturize whether you have dry skin or oily skin. Please moisturize. Like I said, you can use a moisturizer with SPF during the daytime, and then something with no SPF at nighttime if you're going out at night. We went over priming. Priming is optional. I did use a pore minimizing primer tonight because I like to, cover those pores a little bit just so it's nice and smooth before I apply my foundation. We went over the foundation. The concealers, I like to use 2 concealers because I like to cover my dark circles with a darker concealer, and then to highlight that area I like to use a lighter concealer. We went over a little bit of contouring. We applied our blush. Well, I showed you how I like to apply my blush and how I like to apply my highlights, and that's it. This is what I do to my face on a normal basis. Yeah, there are some days that I do everything super extra, so I'll probably have more highlights. I'll probably have a wider section under my concealer area just to make that center area of my face pop. It depends what I'm in the mood for, but normally this is what I do on my step-by-step makeup. So thank you for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Follow my other social media and watch my previous videos. Until next time, hugs and kisses. Bye.